Looking for my brother. He's a cop too.
Well, it's a good thing we found each other. I don't know what to expect anymore.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 biggest controversies Capcom has ever faced with the Resident Evil franchise.
Hey, easy lady, I got you.
Who are you? What are you doing?
Name's Carlos, and I'm saving you.
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. The Statue's Removal, Resident Evil 4. It can be frustrating when video game remakes forget or cut out certain bits that made the original work memorable. The remake of RE4 saw a little bit of scrutiny because of how it removed the segment where a statue of Ramon chases Leon. Some fans understood why the remake removed this sequence because of how cartoonish it truly was. Capcom was trying to tone down these ridiculous moments in the remakes in general. Still, a fraction of the fan base was adamant about staying true to the original. At least the statue's legs were acknowledged in the remake. The Clock Tower Removal, Resident Evil 3.
Carlos, respond.
Yeah, what's up?
We didn't make it.
When removing segments from the remakes, none were as confusing as the Clock Tower from RE3. Not that it was a memorable portion of the original RE3, but also there wasn't really anything wrong with it either. That's what makes its removal so confusing in the remake. Instead, Capcom just cut from the second fight with Nemesis and went straight to the hospital section with Carlos. Does it tighten the story a bit more? Sure, but even then, it's not like the Clock Tower bloated playtime either. Perhaps Capcom will explain themselves someday. Maybe.
Interesting. You've done me a big favor.
The first-person camera, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
I told you to stay out of here!
From the moment RE7 first showed off its first-person gameplay, there has been a split in the community on which perspective the franchise should be catering to. On one side, you have players that want something immersive and maintain the same level of fright as most other survival horror games. On the other, you have players who enjoy the third-person shooter formula that Resident Evil has become known for between RE4, 5, and 6. There are even folks who swear by the tank controls of the OGs, but who's gonna listen to those 6 people? Regardless, RE9 looks like Capcom might just cater to both audiences from this point forward by offering camera options to players. Ashley's redesign, Resident Evil 4.
What do we do?
Your father trusts me. And I need you to trust me too, and do exactly as I say. I'm gonna get you home safe.
We don't want to spend too much time on this, but this controversy was still noisy enough that it's almost impossible to ignore. When we finally got a look at Ashley's new design in RE4's remake, most folks were pretty pleased with the redesign. It still fits her old color scheme, while living up to her background as the daughter of a politician. She looks like she could be the daughter of a politician. Of course, leave it to the brain-dead grifters to jerk the conversation towards, "Ugh, she's not hot, and I only want hot women in my video games." It's worth noting that Ashley is 20 years old in RE4, while many of these grifters are in their late 30s or even 40s, still acting like tween-age boys. A similar outrage was attempted when RE3's remake was making the rounds, but that was quickly stamped out because who is seriously fawning over PS1 Jill Valentine in this day and age?
Mission accomplished. When you're home safe.
Thank you for saving me.
918, Resident Evil 3.
Hello?
Jill, are you okay?
Brad, is that you?
Listen, you gotta get out of there.
What are you talking about?
Funny enough, the biggest controversy surrounding Resident Evil 3's remake didn't even take place in the US, Canada, or even Japan. It actually took place in China. One of the safes in the game can only be unlocked by entering the code 918. Well, some Chinese patriots looked way too deeply into this and thought this code was supposed to reference September 18th. This was a day marked in infamy for Chinese and Japanese history because September 18th, 1931 was the day that the Mukden incident occurred. This false flag event was what led to Japan invading China in the years that followed. Capcom responded to this outrage by patching the code to be a different set of numbers, now 937.
My guys have converted some subway cars into a shelter. It's safe.
Ada's voice acting. Resident Evil 4.
You can stop right there, Leon. Wouldn't make me use this, would you?
Much like Ashley's redesign, this was yet another controversy that gained way more traction than it should have. Sure, Ada's voice acting wasn't anything top tier, but the behavior that stemmed from this milquetoast criticism was absolute psychopath behavior. Lily Gao reprised her role as Ada Wong for RE4's remake, having already portrayed the character before in the 2021 movie Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Well, certain folks were so upset with Gao's performance in the game that they began sending hateful messages and even death threats to her across social media. Of course, the grifters unabashedly jumped on the hate train and amplified it, thus leading Gao to deleting her social media accounts. And to this day, some folks still wonder why not all actors want to interact with fans. Action-focused gameplay. Resident Evil 6.
We just entered Chinese airspace.
Good.
There are many reasons to dunk on RE6, be it the boss fights, the gunplay, or the story itself. But the biggest reason why so many folks resented this game for so long is because of how it completely removed the horror from Resident Evil. There was so much combat, so many ridiculous bosses, so much noise happening at once that the game felt like it was designed by Call of Duty staff. Fans were outraged to the point where Capcom started becoming known as Crapcom. And it wasn't until RE7 came out in 2017 when public opinion started to shift.
It's time for me to take responsibility.
DRM usage. All of the remakes.
Why does everyone think I'm gonna get in trouble?
We can understand why some companies want to use DRM to prevent piracy and tampering with game files. However, the way Capcom's been using it for Resident Evil is questionable at best. For a time, Capcom was incorporating de novo into Village and the remakes of RE2, RE3, and RE4. Over the years, the company has eventually removed de novo from all of the aforementioned games, except RE4's remake. RE5 has a DRM system integrated as well, but you don't hear many folks complaining about Enigma compared to de novo. What makes all of this strange is that of all of those games in the franchise, the only one with competitive multiplayer of any kind was RE3's remake. So why use DRM for the single-player games and the one co-op game, especially when these systems demand complete access to your computer's information? None of it makes any sense. Umbrella Corp's demise. Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles.
Are you with Umbrella?
Yeah. We came all the way out here to save you civilians.
This one goes out to all of the lore dorks out there, okay? We understand your frustration, truly. To the casual players, have you ever wondered what exactly happened to Umbrella Corp after the events of RE3? Well, if you jumped from RE3 to RE4, you would not have gotten this answer outside of some collectible notes. Rather than dedicate a whole game to this key moment in the story, Capcom instead shoved it into the highlight reel of a shooter, Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles. The final moments of the game depict Jill and Chris infiltrating an Umbrella Corps stronghold in Russia, retrieving the last of the damning documents that could get the corporation shut down. Sounds like that could have been a proper standalone game, right? But no! Let's just shove this key story beat into a spin-off that nobody will remember and some documents in other games.
Soon, Umbrella will be gone forever. They held the power of the T-virus in their hands.
And lastly, allegations of racism. Resident Evil 5.
It didn't take long after the fall of the Umbrella Corporation for their bioweapons to end up in the hands of terrorists.
There has been no other moment in Resident Evil history as infamous as the allegations of racism Capcom faced when RE5 was gearing up for launch. A handful of gaming and non-gaming news outlets noted how many zombies in the game were black people, and spun this aspect of the game into an issue of, as Newsweek called it, quote, classic racist imagery, end quote. Some of these outlets even explicitly acknowledged the fact that the game is set in Northwest Africa, which has long been known to be predominantly black for centuries. And yet these outlets still stood on their hill and continued to claim RE5 and Capcom were being racist. Producer Masachika Kawada would respond to these complaints, stating, quote, "We can't please everyone. We're in the entertainment business. We're not here to state our political opinion or anything like that. It's unfortunate that some people felt that way," end quote.
Chris, look around. We should both get the hell out of here.
I'm not here just for the mission.
What are you talking about?
Was there a controversy with Resident Evil that you felt was justified or otherwise? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.